Hey, welcome to the Riot Podcast.
Happy Tuesday, guys.
Nikki and I are right now getting set up for the Riot after show, so it hasn't happened yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say, on faith, that it was hugely entertaining, tons of fun.
Amazing time.
And you should go check out the archive right now.
So when you're done with the podcast, head over to RadioU Riot. That's our Facebook page. Please follow us there. That way you can stay in touch with us and always message us there too. Or RadioU Riot on our YouTube channel. It's going there too.
All right. So, what did we do today?
Well, we had some interesting Resident Evil zombie talk that'll make its way in this.
If you want to know the truth, that's probably the most important thing we cover in the show today.
What would happen? We take it to its fullest extent.
Yeah, there's that. I got my beard oil. Mm-hmm. We talk about Dan Harmon.
We got an update from Andrew about Lord of the Rings on IMAX.
We did. You're right. And you know what? Randomly, I know that Hudson talked to Andrew from Project 86 a while ago, and you can see that at RadioU.com. But I heard from Andrew on Twitter last night.
Oh, did you?
He watched Cobra Kai in its entirety.
So he was telling you how it's not bad, or do you like it?
He was telling me that it was terrible, and he watched all of it.
That's perfect. That's all that Netflix wants. They want it to be so bad, but they don't care. You'll still watch it.
That's actually what I told him. I was like, Andrew, you sent a message to Netflix that please send more Cobra Kai.
Send more.
All right. So, hey, you guys enjoyed today's podcast. It was lovingly crafted by us and Sydney, who puts it all together.
Thanks so much for listening. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
This is RadioU's Worst of the Riot.
Did you know that it's National Pizza Day today?
Now, isn't this the one where there's like 2 a year, and one's like National Pizza Day and National Have a Slice Day, or it's a word game just to get you to eat more pizza, which we don't need any help with.
You know what, Nikki? I don't like your tone.
Why? You know that's true, right? There's a couple of them where they're like, I thought we already had this.
I don't really like your tone.
Okay, so we're getting pizza today?
What I'm saying is this, is that you can have that tone in July when we're on our 4th pizza day. But the calendar has reset, and this is the first pizza day of the year.
I guess you're right with that.
That's all I'm saying.
I should appreciate the first one.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, because with that logic, you could be like, oh, Christmas again? I mean, how many Christmases have we had?
Well, we have the one a year, but for pizza days, there's plenty to choose from throughout the year.
Well, this is the first pizza day of 2021, and I, for one, could use it.
I say yes to this.
Come on, pizza day.
Sounds pretty good to me.
So you got pizza discounts?
Great.
Out there? You check in. Let me see if I can find one that's national. Chuck E. Cheese is having a free medium one topping with the purchase of a large one topping.
That is not worth it. That is not.
Man, seriously, if that feels like COVID-19 is the least scary thing you can pick up at a Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, it already had issues, so it's just continuing.
Domino's? Mm-hmm. This is not a deal. That's a regular. Unfortunately, I'm a Domino's customer quite often, and I can tell you what they're saying is their pizza day deal. That's a regular special.
And you know it, and they're lying.
Yeah, nice try, guys.
Good one. He noticed.
Donato's, they have a loyalty program. Today you get double points. Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. My eyes, please stop rolling. They won't stop spinning.
Well, they want to do, because they have to space it out throughout the whole year, Obi. They can't do a big deal today because it's only one of the pizza days.
Dang it. Little Caesars, free delivery if your order's more than $10.
How do you get to $10 at Little Caesars? It's so cheap.
That's a lot of pizza.
And I insist. No one needs to know you're bringing it to my house.
Here you go, Nikki. Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Their Detroit style pizza.
Oh, the new one. Has anybody tried it yet?
Yeah. So I don't know that that's on sale. $10.99. That doesn't feel like a sale.
It's not. I don't feel like we need to fall for this, guys. And a lot of us had pizza already for Super Bowl weekend. And then there's Valentine's weekend where you get the heart-shaped pizza on Sunday. So I don't know if I can have more pizza today.
Well, Nikki, they're just trying to maintain an up week. So pizza on the weekend, a little pizza in the week, back to pizza on the weekend.
I can't have any more weekday pizza. I can't.
I can. Lay it on me, dude.
And I'll have lots of leftovers.
Lay it on me. I'm a fan.
If you're going to have pizza today for National Pizza Day, just be aware that some of those deals may not be any other, you can get that deal any other day.
don't be too wowed by it.
Don't let that motivate you into ordering more pizza because it's not a sale.
I mean, if you need it as an excuse, go for it. But just a heads up, that's not much.
We've got an archive of everything stupid the Riot has ever said at your fingertips. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
I took a look. There actually were a couple of stories late last year and early this year about some fishermen in the Pacific Rim. So in Thailand and a couple of other places. I know. Where in the one case, it was like they found like fossilized whale poop or something like that. And that was like this unbelievable find that's worth a ton of money. And so, family out of poverty, all that stuff. Now, same thing with this guy. He found an orange pearl. This pearl was in a snail shell attached to a discarded buoy.
We can do this?
It washed ashore, and he found this, and they made a big deal out of it. Like, wow, this is going to lift his family out of poverty.
Yeah.
It's not going to just change his life. It's going to change the life of his great-grandchildren. Except now he's in jail.
Is it not real?
No, it's not that. He threw a huge meth party for his friends.
Oh, with the money from the orange pearl? Oh, he ruined it. Ruined it.
Now, my grandfather, who was from the back hills of Kentucky, would refer to this as hillbilly rich.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is for that in Thailand, but it's when you're flush with cash and you're not used to being, and you suddenly begin making poor choices with the money you received.
It's similar to when people win the lottery. A lot of times they just can't handle that influx of money, and so they just spend it on stuff that if you were an outsider looking in at it, you'd be like, why? Why are you wasting your money? Why are you doing that? Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I'll tell you this, Nikki. I don't often feel qualified to make financial statements or to certainly give anybody financial advice. But here, not as a lawyer, but just as a friend, I want to give you some advice. And it is as follows. If you get a lot of money suddenly, don't throw a meth party.
Okay, now we know.
Okay?
Now we know.
I don't know if you guys were listening earlier and heard that today's National Pizza Day. If you want to throw a pizza party,
that's safer.
It's legal and it's not going to be as expensive. So, I mean, even if you end up spending a lot of money on pizza, it's still going to be okay because those leftovers will reheat.
This is safer, guys. So now he denied the boxes were him. So it was a celebratory party. And so neighbors complained about the music and the smell of drugs. And he said they're not mine, but they did a fingerprint forensic test on the packages and his fingerprints were all over them.
So maybe it could be, and I don't know this, but it could be dirty police coming to steal his money. I don't know.
They want the orange pearl. So did he sell the orange pearl? It doesn't say.
I don't think he's actually sold it yet.
Not
I think
yet.
he was going to.
Oh, no, that's what you're not supposed to do.
So
what a pearl, though. It looks really cool.
It really is cool.
Looks
looking,
like a gum,
right?
Not a gumdrop, but
a gum ball.
It looks like a gum ball.
It does. Don't chew it, though.
Oh, well, so who gets the orange pearl then? Does he still get it? Does it go somewhere else? Are they taking it into custody? Where does it go?
I don't know. I don't know where the pearl goes. I just know where he goes.
Follow
it's not
the
good.
Pearl. Follow it and see where it goes.
Big Pearl paid for all this meth.
I say it did not because he didn't sell it yet.
He hadn't sold it yet. So, what was he? Buying on credit? You know what? Let's just stop. Remember, pizza party. Okay?
That's better.
Pizza party.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the Riot. Then, they're worse. They're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
Now, let's keep in mind that as far as investigative reporting goes, I don't know that TMZ is necessarily the cutting edge place we should be getting our news.
But I think they get more.
They get a lot
They
of
figure
stuff
out more things than we realize.
So,
which is just how journalism is.
Check this out. You've seen the stories about the Gorilla Glue woman?
Yeah. Don't tell me it's not real.
No, it's real.
Oh, it's real. Okay.
So here's the idea if you didn't hear. There's a woman on TikTok. Her name's Tessica. She's from Violet, Louisiana. And she was out of got-to-be-glued spray, which is what she normally sprays her hair with. So she found some Gorilla Glue and she sprayed her hair with that. It had been in her hair for a month, which, by the way, if you look at it,
looks good.
I mean, it definitely held.
It looks styled, but the problem is, like, it's not going anywhere.
Right. So she went to the ER, says she spent like 22 hours in the ER.
Yeah.
They tried using acetone to remove the glue, which didn't work. It just burned her scalp,
Aww.
which if you left it on long enough, it would.
They said they'd have to leave it on for so long. So the question is, how can you get this stuff off her hair?
I think she's probably going to have to shave her head.
I think she should have shaved her head.
I think that's kind of where she is.
There's really no other way to get it off.
And if you've ever, the first time I used Gorilla Glue, I was terrified of it. Like, if you read it, like what's on, they're like, you should be wearing gloves when you handle this stuff. And you're like, what? Gloves? It's glue. And they're like, nah, brah.
It's different.
When
I first watched her TikTok, when it first came out, like she had a series of them kind of explaining. It made it seem like she had accidentally picked up the Gorilla Glue. But then now, as you kind of move on, it seems like she meant to try it. The Gorilla Glue has come out and said, hey, we have a lot of warnings on our things. It's not meant for that. But they are saying that she's planning on suing.
That's what I'm reading here with TMZ. And here's what kills me. Do you know why?
Because it doesn't say hair on the bottle. It says everything else, but it doesn't say hair.
What do Nikki and I always say? If you see a warning label on something, it's because some idiot did it. A sign always shows you somebody was dumb enough to do that. Now, Gorilla Glue is going to end up don't put it in your hair. I mean, it says don't get in your eyes, on your skin, or on your clothing.
And I mean, your hair is your scalp. That's still your skin. I mean, it is there.
Technically, hair is keratinized skin.
But your scalp's underneath it.
Your hair, your nails, and your skin are all the same things with varying levels of protein in them.
But your hair is attached to your skin. So skin is still the whole thing, I think. But I haven't really seen any lawyers jump in and say, oh, I think she has a case. But Gorilla Glue has been like, can we stop talking about this, please? Please stop.
I don't know. Like, I know she's going to try to get her money, et cetera, but it is one of those things where I'm like, look.
Why did you put it in your hair?
Well, why did you do it?
But she's so sad about it when you watch it. Like, it's devastating.
Of course it is. Like, it's terrible, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too much of a guy. Oh, because her hair's so long.
Yeah.
Okay,
no, that's extensions.
Is that extension?
Yeah.
Man, like, just shave it, get a wig, or, wear a hat. Like, within a month or two, you're going to be fine. I know. I don't want to shave my head either.
No one wants to.
I don't.
I just don't think there's any other way to actually get the glue off her head. But, again, that's been all the news, and when she went to the hospital, like, they couldn't do any more. She didn't want to wait because it would take hours and hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, and the other thing about
it's painful.
Like with her, because it's been in there for a month, like if she had gotten to it right away, she probably could have gotten it out.
Oh, they said that? Yeah.
It forms a chemical bond. It's crazy. Like, yeah, it's like, how plastic works, how it's a long form polymer and it breaks down the bonds and then it resets.
She doesn't need to hear that, okay? She understands a mistake has been made.
You know what? I wish her the best. I do.
I wish it comes out easily. But if not, she might have to shave her head.
And do you think she should...
Should she sue them?
Should she sue?
I'm sure she will. It doesn't mean she should.
I'm just glad I'm not the judge here.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Feel free to text. Want to say hi to Micah and Jeff and then Andrew. Nikki, Andrew was the person that texted us last week, said he was going to go see the Lord of the Rings in IMAX.
Oh, did he?
I forgot that was...
You forgot it was a thing.
I forgot it was a thing.
That's okay.
And he said, hey, I wanted to update you. It looked incredible. I noticed details I hadn't previously seen. The Balrog sequence about threw me to the floor. It was loud.
Was it all the movies, or did you just watch one?
Well, they released one last weekend, and then this upcoming weekend they'll release the other two in IMAX. So
Nothing says Valentine's Day like a long Lord of the Rings movie.
Well, you know what? For those of you that are going to celebrate Galentine's Day,
I don't know if a Galentine's trip would be that.
You know what? It might be.
It could be. Actually, they're fun to watch. So,
or if you're a boy, what's boy Valentine's without the Valentine?
Boyentines?
Boyentines?
It's
whatever
just Valentine's.
It's not the same. But whatever it is, you could take yourself to the IMAX.
You could just go on your own.
Get yourself some popcorn, man. The people of the theater would be so glad to see you.
Do you know how thankful they would be for you? You'd be worshipped when you walked in. They'd be like, here, have some food. Please. We have extra.
I mean, you have to buy it, but we're so glad.
They go in the theater and they just stare at you while you're watching the movie because they're so excited someone's in there.
Hey. Don't make it weird, but head into 3.
We've got
somebody in there.
Someone's watching The Lord of the Rings.
It's incredible.
Well, cool. Andrew,
thank
you.
They'd come back.
Thanks for texting us, Andrew.
Yeah, I would kind of like to go do that, but I'm just too lazy. Just way too lazy.
Well, and you also talked about you own them all in 4K.
I do.
And you put the investment into that. So do you need to watch it any other way? If you get close enough, your TV's big enough, and the quality's good enough, it'll be just like the IMAX experience.
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't watched all of them yet. I'm almost done with the first one. Okay. I have so many things at home that I feel like are just kind of intimidating because you have an hour. So I've got a bunch of games for my PlayStation that I picked up that I haven't played. I'm still excited to play them, but all of them are like, oh, it takes 100 hours to beat it. Like 100? I have.
No, they say it takes 100 just to get into it.
Yeah. Like after your first 40 hours, you'll really start to enjoy it. And, the Lord of the Rings extended editions, that's like 16 hours, 15, 14 hours. I don't know, whatever. And it's just like, I have 45 minutes. I'm like, well, if you'd be willing to invest that over the next 150 days,
you'll get done with it.
You're going to see this through, and it's like,
it is hard when it's going to take a lot to get into it.
That's how I end up on YouTube. I'm like, wow, I watched 40 YouTube videos. They're like 25 seconds a piece. It's so fun. Yeah, it's fine.
Well, no pressure if you don't get to it, but Andrew, he did. He watched it.
Dude, I think it's awesome. Andrew, thanks for letting us know. And you know what? We heard from, I think it was Brittany yesterday, who was updating us on her Mission Impossible stuff. So feel free to send us any entertainment updates about what you got going on.
You guys have goals, and it looks like you're accomplishing them. And we just want to say how proud we are of you guys. Okay? In case your mom doesn't tell you that today, we are proud of you for doing all this.
You said you were going to, and you did it.
And you did it. And someone else might have said you're wasting your time, but that's not true.
You know what that is? It's integrity.
It's jealousy if someone else is telling you that.
Come on.
You're basically listening to a real-time cringe compilation. This is The Riot on Radio U.
Listen, we've all been there when you've had your significant other and things aren't working out and Valentine's Day comes along and you just want to
break up or what are you supposed to do?
I don't know. Because you're not together anymore and now you're all lonely on Valentine's Day. They probably have somebody new. They're having a great time.
And you're all by yourself.
There you are. What are you going to do about it? Well, you could donate $5 to the San Antonio Zoo.
What are they doing?
For $5, they will name a cockroach after your significant other and then feed it to a bird or a reptile.
I feel like a zoo has done this before around
It's
Valentine's. It's them. They do it every year.
Yeah.
And no one complains about the feeding the cockroach to the animal?
Some people do, which is why if you want to see more of an herbivore-friendly solution, you can name a leaf of lettuce after your significant other, and for $5, it'll be fed to an herbivore.
Are they actually doing that too, or did you say that?
No, it's there.
That is? Okay.
I mean, it's in the article I'm reading.
So it's the zoo's Cry Me a Cockroach event, and it's on Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm. You've got all the way until this Saturday night at 6 Eastern to register there on the website.
So for $5, they'll name a cockroach, and then that gets fed to a bird, reptile, or mammal. If you want to, you can pay $20 more, and they'll feed a frozen rat to a reptile instead. So if you feel like your ex was even worse, you could do that.
That's not so bad.
And then the $5 herbivore romaine lettuce option, cabbage, that gets to a vegetarian animal.
And just to let you know, they're going to be streaming the feedings on Facebook.
the carnage, is that it?
So you can watch those if you want, if that would help you.
Well, I guess if you wanted to support the zoo and then this kind of worked out anyways, that's not bad. It's not as expensive as I thought it was going to be.
Little catharsis, just working it out a little bit. So
only first names get displayed during the event.
So you're not going to be able to say.
No one's last names.
Mm-hmm. So, but you'll know. So that way when you're watching it, you'll know that one was for you.
You'll know that was for your ex, and it was good. It was a good way to donate the money.
Something good came of this.
Yes, exactly.
All right. They're obviously a cockroach, and you're watching their namesake get eaten. I don't know.
So that's the San Antonio Zoo. And again, till Saturday, you can register and pay. And then Sunday's when it happens.
Yeah, that'll be a way for you to get some of that out.
Move on, just move on.
Yeah, that's what it's time to do. It's a new year. It's a new you. It's another Valentine's Day alone, and you can do this.
It's all right. This happens. You pay. You feel better on Saturday. Then you go do something Sunday, whatever you want, and you don't have to worry about it.
No big deal.
This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
I realize we're all over the country, all over the world, but where Obadiah came through this morning, he had to travel through some fairly contentious snow. And I say contentious because I'm fairly certain it was there fighting me.
It had an attitude about it.
I was pushing, it was pushing back.
Well, a lot of places are facing some real winter weather.
And the morning commutes in the snow are rough. Listen, I know some of you have it much worse because, at least for me, there aren't as many people on the road at, 4:45 or whatever when I left. But the thing that I kept coming up on is, it's dark outside, I'm driving, and, cars come up behind me, and you start feeling the pressure to speed up, to move a little more. I start looking in my rearview mirror, and it's like, okay, there are 2 semis, like 3 trucks, like all this stuff behind me. And it was like, I got to speed up. I got to whatever. Then you feel your tires start to slip a little bit, and you're like, no! I can't speed up.
But they want to go faster, and they want to get around you.
So you find yourself in between, like, I want to be safe, but these people and all this stuff and the pressure, I just can't.
Can you just go around?
I know that's what I want to do. I'm like, man, I need to just pull off here somewhere. They can go around me. But even that's dangerous to do something like that. And it was there that I began to, tee up a life lesson for myself. And, that, Nikki, is that you really can't worry about what everybody else around you is doing. Like, sometimes you just got to do what is the right thing for you to
absolutely.
do. And I'll tell you, as somebody in a relationship with God, I often find myself with people around me trying to push me in certain directions, maybe to do things I'm not comfortable with, or maybe do something I really want to do that I know is a bad idea. What, you think I want to drive 35? I don't want to drive 35. Sucks.
It's a 65.
It sucks.
One wants to. But that, at that time, is what you need to do.
It's what I needed to do. And so there I am, just driving along with my little metaphor, slowly down the freeway. I'm telling you, man, you start doing things the way God wants you to do stuff, you're going to find yourself sometimes with people pushing, shoving, pulling, et cetera, because they're not doing things the way you're doing it. You know what you got to do? You just got to keep your eyes forward and, is maybe lower your mirror just a little bit so they're not shining so brightly in your face. But you know what I'm talking about. I get it. It's tough. But you know what? If I can drive 35 in a 65, you can do this. I believe in you.
Are people really still listening to the Riot? You don't have work to do or laundry to fold or literally anything else to do? The Riot, Radio U.
Okay, you and I, what's today?
Tuesday.
It was last week then. We were talking about Lil Uzi Vert's...
the diamond in the forehead.
In his forehead.
A hip-hop guy who has a rather expensive stone that he puts in his forehead.
$24 million is what it costs. Now, he had this done at Eliante and Company. They are a New York-based jeweler. And when you look at it, you're like, what on this earth? Well, Rolling Stone went and interviewed the company that did the body mod for him.
Really?
To ask him some questions. And so when Uzi showed up for the very first time, and he fell in love with the stone, and he told them what he wanted. He's like, I want to put it in my forehead. And they were like,
well, all right.
Okay.
You just want to sell the stone, so you'll do whatever.
So they didn't think he meant it, but he started paying on it. And
so did they do the body mod, or so they attached it to his forehead?
From the article, it seems like they did it all because they said that they brought somebody in to do this special. They said most of the time you would use like surgical steel.
Yeah.
But in this case, it was all done with, and I quote, precious metals. But they say that it's safe as long as it's taken care of properly.
Sure.
And so they actually made him bring in somebody that was basically pledged to take care of this mod and keep it clean. So that way he didn't have any trouble with it. But here's what I love. My big thought is, my fear is that body mod, that diamond, you don't realize it. You're doing it, whatever, doing a show, something. It falls out. You don't know it till you get home and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh my gosh.
You lost your diamond. It must be insured, though. It must be.
I'm sure it probably is.
But it must cost a lot to insure it because there would be such a greater risk. Or maybe he just doesn't wear it all the time.
I don't know. But they did the same, something similar for a hip hop guy named Young Thug in 2016. He had a diamond implanted on his face. It was pear-shaped. They think it was like a teardrop, and he lost it.
Oh, you know what I would do?
What?
Once everybody knew, like, I'm so big, I got all this stuff, I got all this money.
Cubic zirconium.
I would then have a dupe made, and then that's what you would have out in your day-to-day life, and you keep your other one locked up.
Yeah.
But everybody would assume you were walking around with the $20 million one.
I don't know, though. The thing that I keep thinking about, I couldn't finish it because it made me just way too nervous. So nervous. I watched that Adam Sandler movie, Uncut Gems.
Oh, yeah. Well, that, I mean.
Okay, I know it's fictional.
That's an intense look at that.
It is. I know it is. But as I was watching it, like, I can't remember who the NBA guy is. He comes in and he's like, I've just fallen in love with this stone. I feel the energy of this stone. And I was like, oh, so like some people, I realize that's fictionalized.
But some people must be like that.
There are probably people that are like that. That had never occurred to me before. I've never had enough money to fall in love with or feel the energy of an inanimate object.
Well, that's because if you're getting jewelry, it's already made. We don't get to see the stones.
I don't even want any jewelry.
I don't know. Well, I'm just, if you're feeling pressure, like for Valentine's Day, it's like, well, what to get and what to wear. You don't need to worry about this. We don't need any stones. We're good.
You know what? You're going to die. You can't take it with you anyway.
No, you'd be like, bury me with it on. While your family's like, no, we'll take it.
Somebody digs it up and takes it.
That's for sure.
Why are we talking? It got dark in here.
What do you mean?
It's fine.
It's not dark. This is just life.
You know what, Nikki? We're just talking about it. It's a natural part of life. Who gets the diamond when you're gone?
Who gets the stone from your forehead when you die?
Man, you're like Vision. So it's not that it goes away when you die. You die when it goes away.
There are some people that shouldn't have their own podcast. And by some people, we mean these people. Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
No, it's not real. It's the Riot.
What?
We're not doing what he says.
I'm sorry, I was taking a nap.
Actually, he did say earlier he wants to take a nap today. It's not literally. You feel like you want to wake up screaming.
That's not what he
You're
says.
Not actually waking up.
Every night I just wake up screaming.
Well, let's put him to the side.
All of a sudden I do it,
and it's weird.
Not okay.
It's uncomfortable.
Paradise Now or not All Right years. They're like, yeah, wake up screaming. It's fine. I wake up screaming, and it's like, okay.
I thought we talked about we can't scream with any of the music. We're not allowed to.
Boundaries.
Yeah, just a little personal space.
All right, it's fine. Hey, speaking of personal space, if you got into mine right now, Nikki, don't have to make it weird, but if you wanted to put your nose in my beard,
does it smell nice?
It smells amazing.
Obi finally got some beard oil. Obi's grown a beard. It's a thing. It's been a thing. It's fantastic. But to help with the itchiness, he finally got some beard oil.
It smells so good.
Yeah.
It smells really good.
You said you never moisturize your face, and I thought that was kind of odd, but I don't think everybody does that. But if you would have been moisturizing your face all these years,
I would know
how nice that is.
Oh, it smells great. Don't drink it.
Don't lick it.
Don't lick it. Don't drink it.
So has it helped with the itchiness, or you just don't know yet?
I don't know. Like the itchiness is getting more random, and that sensation that I get. Like I worked out yesterday, and I was afraid when I worked out I would die, and I did
because
fine.
Your beard itching.
Yeah. The other thing, though, here, you guys want some serious beard TMI. So I do a nasal rinse where
you rinse your nose.
You shoot the water up your nose. It's like a neti pot. And I haven't done one in a couple of days. So I did one this time, and my mustache was just full of snot runoff.
Why do you just scream and share? Why?
What is
Why?
that?
It's gross.
Nikki,
I want nice thoughts about your beard, not that.
Don't you want to share
everything?
Like, this is what love and acceptance really looks like.
So much information.
Everybody's like, emotional intimacy is going to be so wonderful and whatever. But the thing is, you're going to get in there and you're going to find beard snot.
And that's the real stuff right there.
You got to push past that.
Now when I look at you, I just see that.
You're going to be looking for snot?
Like, no, I just see like, oh, it must be tough. I didn't know all these things were hard on you guys for growing a beard.
See, Nikki,
I have more sympathy for you guys.
We have to talk about it. That's why, guys, if we start sharing our feelings, wake up screaming, talk about it.
Then everybody's going to be so worried about you.
It's going to be great.
Like, no, he just screams all the time.
That's not true. Just when I'm sleeping.
Just when you wake up sleeping.
And I it's a theme. I'm tying into the show, to what we do. I think it's great.
Okay. The beard looks nice with the oil in it.
Could you tell the difference?
It looks shinier, but not too much. It's just because you have a giant light in front of it. So
that's also true.
But no, it looks wonderful.
Yeah. I look deranged. I don't know if the beard's helping.
No one will notice. No one will think that at all.
Trying to hide it.
See, the beard covers all that.
It does.
The Riot is well-versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
Okay, Nikki, let's talk about something we completely dropped the ball on last week.
What was it?
Space Sweepers.
Oh, yes, the Korean. It's the first movie set in space from Korea.
It is?
I think so. It is, I think, from a director there. Because it took him like 10 years to make.
It took a long time. But it was one of those things where I was like, hey, I really want to watch this. I really want to watch it. Mostly because it's like,
I like space stuff.
I like space stuff. And I also think it is really interesting, if you find a genre you like, to go watch a movie from another country.
Yeah.
Because they will do it differently. And it's just because in a lot of ways, they just see the world just a little bit differently than you do. And so it's fascinating to see it play out and all that stuff and blah, 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 whatever. And then I didn't even watch it.
Aww.
I forgot it was even a thing. And then last night I found it. I was like, wait, what did it? Space Sweepers. Why wasn't there billboards and announcements? Isn't everyone excited about this Korean science fiction film?
Well, it's supposed to be a big movie to debut in Korea, but then, COVID and their movie theaters shut down for a while too. So it got pushed back enough to where it did a worldwide release on Netflix.
It did. And so I watched probably about 20 minutes of it because I basically discovered it at bedtime. Mm-hmm. When I should have been sleeping
so you couldn't
anyway.
Go through the whole thing.
No, but you know what? Seemed all right.
Not bad.
I didn't see anything that I was completely blown away by. But at the same time, it was like, I'll probably come back to this. I'm curious. So it's Space Sweepers. It's on Netflix, and it
again. We haven't watched enough to where it's like, what if at 25 minutes in, it's the worst thing ever. You haven't watched enough.
Yeah, I mean,
we've done that a few times. You're like, oh no! So we beg your pardon if it changes. I
am not endorsing it.
I'm just talking about it.
I'm just telling you, we talked about this on the show because it's not a big deal to most people, but the way it was done, using Netflix as a worldwide release platform for a large budget movie coming from a different country. That in itself, what I just described, is kind of a big deal, whether you care about the movie itself or not. And they also say that people are taking a deeper look at Korean cinema because of Parasite, which one was that last year or 2 years ago?
Maybe last year.
Okay. And so you add all that together. Here's Space Sweepers, which we heard about 2 weeks ago, heard nothing about after, and I found it last night.
So they call it like a Korean space opera film, and it is regarded as the first Korean, they're saying space blockbuster.
Okay.
So there you go.
Well, it's my intention to finish it, but you know what, Nikki?
If not, that's no big deal.
I got a lot of intentions.
You at least watch some of it.
I've got a queue full of great intentions.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So we've talked about it on the show, a bit over the last 6 months or so. Cyberpunk 2077. It's a video game that you play on the consoles and the computers.
Some couldn't play, so it became an issue last year.
It was a whole thing.
Big thing.
It was a whole
Basically,
thing.
If you did not pick up on it, if that's just not your thing, it was released and it really wasn't ready for anything under the newer consoles.
Right.
So if you went to go play it with an older one, and you should have been able to play it with it, they weren't really transparent in the fact that it would have severe issues.
It was a big enough deal that Sony quit selling it.
Mm-hmm.
So like on the PlayStation Store, you can't go buy it.
Or you could get refunds way past the time that you could get a refund for a game.
Right. Now, in the middle of all of this, early this morning, because keep in mind, the developers of Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red, they're located in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're ahead.
They're many hours ahead. So early this morning, they made an announcement that they had been hacked and they are being held ransom by their hackers. Yes.
By someone who's mad at the game, or...
I don't know that it says, though they did tweet out the ransom letter that they got. And they said, we have dumped full copies of your source code for Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher 3, Gwent, and an unreleased version of Witcher 3. So when they say they have the source code, that's the everything.
That's the game file?
Yeah.
The main one?
Mm-hmm.
Their game file?
The one that lets you make the game, basically.
Oh, so if they share that, that's devastating.
It is a very, very big deal. The other thing they say is, hey, we got your emails and we're going to send them to gaming journalists around the world. So what? It'll end up being something like, well, it's true. We knew the game was broken. We shipped it anyway. That's probably what the emails say. Mm-hmm. But if CD Projekt Red is like, yeah, we're not paying.
So did they say how much the ransom was for? I feel it's Bitcoin, but maybe I'm wrong. Is it something else?
Let me take a look at the actual.
Is it money?
It doesn't say in the, we're going to not come to an agreement, then your source codes. So they don't actually ask for an amount.
Oh, they're not sharing that part.
No. I mean, because they just show the letter that they got, and if you read through it, they're like, if we don't come to an agreement. So I don't know how much that's going to end up being, but they say, nah,
not going to worry about it.
Yeah, like if it happens, it happens. We're not going to pay it.
Well, maybe because Cyberpunk they've kind of written off, and they're like, it doesn't matter. Send it out.
It's fine.
Go ahead, you can have it.
So they are they're like in touch with police and various other agencies, but I mean, here in a couple days, either we're going to see it all or it won't have been real.
Or it'll just disappear.
They do say that they have kind of analyzed the data and they don't believe there's any personal data of players that will be made public.
So the emails, it's not like you were talking about, this person signed up for their service. Like it'd be journalists or the industry people.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So it's not like they're going to come after us, but this will just be a place where they could really, give them. It's like they have one black eye, but they've got another eye.
Oh,
they can just hit them there.
I'm sure. You wonder if at the company they intentionally, sent out Cyberpunk knowing all those problems and didn't really care. But I'm sure there's lots of people at the company that you wish this wouldn't happen to.
Oh, I'm absolutely
sure there's some good people there.
No, they're all bad.
I don't know.
All of them.
Maybe not.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on RadioU.
Nick, you got your AirPods, right?
I do.
How many pair do you have?
Well, I gave one to Eric, my original ones.
Still counts.
And then I have AirPods, and then at Christmas I got the AirPods, the Pro version. So that's what I'm at.
So you've got AirPods, and AirPods Pro.
Yeah. And okay. I know that's a lot. I use them every day, and I feel like it'd be weird to sell them, so I don't know what else to do with them. I don't know what else to do.
I don't even know if we've talked about that on the show, but I've had similar thoughts where I was like, you you wouldn't really want somebody else's earpods, I don't think. But then again, like what?
I don't
With
know.
some rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips?
Oh, yeah,
like,
you could totally clean them.
I'm sure
but
you could clean them up and it would be fine.
that way, I mean, Eric doesn't mind. So, like, he's
Well,
he's
yeah,
good to just keep, taking the next pair. But I think I'm good for a while.
Okay, well, there's a guy in Worcester, in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Let's go with Massachusetts. What world are we in that Massachusetts is an easier pronunciation than the city?
His town name.
Yeah. He spent some time shoveling a bunch of snow.
Yeah.
Came in exhausted. He's got a 6-month-old, and he's like, yeah, it was late at night, couldn't really watch TV. Pops in his AirPods. He's watching Netflix on his phone.
Mm-hmm.
Then he wakes up. Time to get ready and make the donuts.
Aww.
Goes into the kitchen, starts drinking water. Can't swallow it. He was like, I literally had to lean over and let the water leak out of my body. It's like, he's like, that's weird. Something's wrong. He couldn't find his AirPods. He swallowed an AirPod.
He swallowed it while he was sleeping?
Yep.
That's not the first time we've heard that.
Oh, my God.
It's a thing sometimes.
So,
it can be a thing.
He swallows the AirPod, and then...
Wouldn't you choke? Wouldn't you wake yourself up?
I guess if it got far enough down.
And you were such a deep sleeper. So it's in his stomach? What do you do?
He had it surgically removed.
Oh, that's expensive.
Yeah, I assume they probably were able to just go down his throat. They don't give the details on the surgery.
Oh, you think that's how they got it?
Man,
that'd be worse. Just hang on, guys.
Well, they knock you out. I had to have that done where they stick the camera down your throat for something. And that actually was no big deal. You couldn't eat. But I mean, in this case, you kind of already ate. And then they just knock you out. And then
it's fine.
Then I just woke up and I was like, is it over?
Well, it'd be sad because you'd be like, hey, can I have my AirPods to relax? But you don't have it because it's in your stomach.
I want you to know the AirPod still works.
They do? And he's going to keep them, or does he get a new pair?
Oh, he has them.
Oh, come on, Apple. Let's give this guy a new pair of headphones.
No way. You know why? Because if they did that, it would then be, it's one of those things where it would open them up on some level for liability.
Oh, yeah, you're true.
They can't. They would
why
not
don't
do
they,
that.
in good faith and a nice gesture, give them the new ones that, the $600 or $500 ones that go over the head? That way he'll never have this problem again.
What are those called? The AirPods Max.
That's it.
That's what it is.
Yeah, maybe they should give him a pair of that.
Yeah. Well,
and no one has to know. Just slide him a pair.
They just happen to show up someday. Nobody knows where they came from.
Well, if you managed to swallow an AirPod, congratulations. So you were a heavy sleeper and you didn't notice. I thought you were going to say that you lost him in the snow.
So did I.
When he was shoveling?
That's actually, when I clicked it, I was like, it's a terrible thing, but you're never getting them back.
Well, I always try to put mine away back in their case before I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever fallen asleep with them still in my ear.
You got to have the case. I've got wireless earbuds that I work out with, and it's like as soon as I'm done working out, I immediately put them back in the case.
That's for your safety.
Yeah. I paid $120 for those. I found them refurbished last night for $30. So I'm really glad I bought them. As you can see, the value in technology, it only goes up.
It's good. Once you drive those earbuds off the lot, they just go down, don't they?
Go down.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Nikki, did you know that there's a new Resident Evil movie coming out?
There is.
You're
but
a
it
huge
wasn't
fan,
the Monster
right?
Hunter. That was the other thing.
The other thing.
Okay, so a new Resident Evil movie. What does that make it? What number?
It's a reboot.
It's a reboot. Oh, is she still in it or?
No. It's going to have an all-new cast, and they say that it's going to closely follow the first 2 games, is what that's going to be.
So do the movies not really follow the games all the time?
Well, okay. At first, in the first and the second movies, they at least kind of tried to almost give a wink and a nod to the games.
I see.
After that, it was just how ridiculous can it get?
All I remember is Raccoon City, something about Umbrella Corporation, and this one movie where it literally didn't go anywhere. It was one whole movie, and at the end of the movie, I remember sand or something, and then you were just back at square one.
Well, there was the one where it was all in the mansion, which is kind of like...
No, that wasn't that one.
Which is kind of like the original Resident Evil game. It's in a mansion. And then there's the one where the stuff...
See, exactly. I think the games are
like
scarier.
It was underground.
I think the games are scarier than the movies, because the movies aren't truly like...
They're not really scary.
They're suspenseful, I guess, but they're not scary.
I played the remakes of 2 and 3. Thought they were really fun to go back and see. I did not find them to be very scary, but Resident Evil 7... when that came out, after I played, everybody was like, "You just have to play the first hour. You have to play the first hour." That was not just scary; it was disturbing.
Style, where it's so scary, something gets in you. You know,
like,
something's inside you.
It was just one of those things where I barely made it through that first hour. And when I did, I was like, "Okay, I did it. I'm not doing this again, ever again. No, never again." They're like, "Yeah, but there's like 30 more hours." Nope.
We're good.
Can't.
Health-wise, I'm not able to.
Honestly, in real life, I'm trying to avoid things like this, and you want me to spend my free time basking in it? I can't.
They're going to make Resident Evil a new movie as a reboot.
Yeah, so they say that it's going to be out for Labor Day weekend, September 3rd.
Soon? All right. So this year. Yay.
Hey, guys, what's the next movie to get postponed? Resident Evil.
No, I could see that one being a perfect in-theaters kind of, sort of, and on a digital release, too.
So you're telling me a movie about a plague that is wiping people out and then they come back as zombies sounds like a great thing to open on.
Well, first off, the zombie thing isn't the COVID thing, and these movies have been around forever.
I mean, we don't think it's the COVID thing.
This isn't a new thing.
Like, you don't know. Like, I have noticed lately that I've thought about, maybe just taking a bite out of you.
And you're groaning more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why you're growing the beard. It's you.
So, Nikki, maybe I am, as a COVID survivor, what I really am is soon to become a COVID zombie.
I'll let you...
Awesome.
I'll let you figure that out.
Nikki,
but as far as the movie's concerned, that's coming in September.
Nikki, if it comes to that, you're not going to let me turn, are you?
What do I have to do? Do I have to shoot you or hit you? Oh, I don't want to do that. We've had so many years together. I don't want to be the one, but in the movies, it's always the one.
They're always the one. That's the true mercy.
It is. I'd have to do that.
You'd have to be the one to put me down.
You're asking a lot, but on the other end, let's just not worry about that now.
Think about it like this, though. That way, you don't have to do the show anymore after that, so you can start sleeping in.
You're right. That is one silver lining to that. I could never come back. It would just be too awkward.
It's like, with him gone, and my co-host is always wondering when I'm going to take them out back, so I've just retired.
Yay! Such wonderful thoughts today, right? And so soon to before Valentine's Day.
Keep making it weird.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
Yes.
What's
with your laugh?
We got some great responses to that. So,
So we were talking about Resident Evil.
Yes.
They're going to reboot the movies. It'll be a new cast. It'll be similar to the video games. What did that lead us talking to?
If I was going to turn into a zombie, would Nikki kill me before it happened? So that way I wouldn't have to live the undead life of a zombie.
Sure.
That usually means putting a bullet through the brain. And I know that sounds awful, but remember, I'm undead.
Zombie-obi.
So I'm gone. I've really died. It's just my body that remains. And it's an act of respect to my reanimated body.
I feel like most of the stress is going to be on me if that's what
absolutely.
If that's what happens.
It's very unfair. It puts you in a very unfair position.
It does.
It really does.
Very awkward.
And I think Catherine nailed it. There's a couple other responses we'll get to, but she says Nikki wouldn't take Obi out if he was a zombie. She'd get Eric to do it.
I am sure I would do that. 100% right.
100%.
But what if he wasn't in that morning and you were turning during the show? I would have to do it.
I think you would have to too, but what I imagine is you just lock the door and you're like, don't go in there till Eric gets here.
And just wait it out.
You do a sign like they dead inside.
Don't open. I think I can't shoot you, but I think I could hit you with a shovel.
That's not going to be enough.
But I don't think it would be enough.
I think you got to really get the brain out of there. That's going to get even worse. Then it's like multiple hits.
It's like, wait, I got to go back in. It didn't work.
Didn't get him.
Oh, Catherine, everybody, I don't want to think about this. I don't want to have to wonder. I don't want to have a pack with you of like, yeah, would you? Or I don't want to think about that.
Oh, I like that. Randall says just lock him in the basement with a microphone.
Yeah, you can still do the show. As long as you weren't like whiny about the zombie thing.
Yeah. So that seems fine.
That could work.
Okay.
And then you can still be a part of the show.
So
we'll never be able to do food fights. I'll just have to, unless I throw it down there at you.
Like here.
Don't eat it yet. Here's an Oreo.
Wait, I said wait.
Will you sit and wait? And we'll never have pictures together again.
Don't put it down there. Wait. All right. Sam says, I think Nikki should just let Obi bite her, and then we'd have a zombie riot to listen to every day. You know, the problem with that is we're going to be stuck doing the show literally forever.
Oh, my gosh, you're right. You're like, they'll never die.
We'll never be able to stop. And, you know, that's going to impact, like, our salary cap and thing. And
what if the station, like, 80 years from now are like, can we have something different? You know, they won't go away. They never age.
They're like, yeah, oh, look, who won for longest running morning show again this year?
It's them.
Just die already. We can't.
Oh, I love it so much.
We're cursed to walk the earth. Well, really stay in this room. And
no, it's better that I don't turn. So I'll go first.
So.
Oh, you guys have some interesting thoughts on this.
Well, you know what? Thank you, everybody, for going on this journey with us.
Yeah, the what if.
Because, well, it's important to explore the possibilities. I think that good because sometimes then, like, you'll know how to respond if you've thought it through.
Yeah, you have to have a plan. They're not pleasant plans.
It's not a good plan.
Still
but
a plan in case something happens. And I love, everybody keeps mentioning Shaun of the Dead. I love that. I'll just watch that again. I'll take some notes, and I'll be good.
Let's go down to the Winchester.
Yes.
That'll take care of it.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
He created Community. And I know a lot of people really got into Community. I didn't. I got into it like a little bit.
Well, there's a couple of episodes that are kind of like iconic.
Yes.
But outside of that, when was it? Community got picked up. There was this weird Yahoo thing, and then it got picked up by...
Well, I think it went to Hulu, and then it went to Yahoo.
But it landed somewhere else. Was it when it was when it went to Netflix? It's on Netflix.
Right. Now you can see it on Netflix.
I went back to watch some of the episodes, and I don't think it ages as well.
Really?
It's not as funny to me.
Okay.
I have to find those couple of episodes that I really connected with, but the rest of it I just couldn't watch.
I keep meaning to watch it. You know what, guys? I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if my attention span is shot or what. But every time I try to sit down and watch something, I'm just like, watching. Let's do something else.
Wee! So it's hard to go through a show. I mean, it had a few seasons, so it's got a larger amount if you want to go through it all.
Yeah. So they just picked up a new show from him that's going to take place in mythical ancient Greece. It will center on a bunch of humans, flawed humans, gods, and monsters trying to run the world's first city without killing each other.
But you said it's animated?
It's animated. So, okay, was Dan Harmon the one that got into all that trouble and now he's magically not in trouble anymore? Or was that someone else?
No, that's the Rick and Morty guy.
That's
guy.
who I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
okay.
That's the guy who seems to be able to escape
no matter what happens to him.
All these things that he has allegedly done and still makes stuff. So,
okay.
Even though who knows, you tend to find out that.
Well, you know what? I'm actually
a lot of people.
Oh no, it's the same guy.
Is it?
Dan Harmon did co-create Rick and Morty.
He is the one then. Never mind. See, again, he still manages to get not canceled.
In your brain, he managed to be a whole other person. How did he do that? That's incredible.
Okay, it's the same guy. He's still, and he's got a new show. All right.
If we'd planned it, we couldn't have planned it any better than that. Couldn't have planned it any better than that.
It's just it is just sometimes very odd for a lot of people that he has a lot of things back in his history that would have canceled everybody else in the cancel culture.
Yeah,
and
like they're not even
did.
allegations. They're right there on camera, and it's just like, oh, well, Dan.
I never knew why he got away with that.
All right. Well, he's got a new show coming, a Greek mythology show.
And it's on Fox?
Yeah.
Fox has that style.
They do.
The animation style.
They do. And you know what? I had a good time. I'm just going to throw a plug in. I played, what was that, Phoenix Rising on the PlayStation for around Christmas time. I had a great time with that. That was a ton of fun. Everybody poo-poos it. Critics were middling at best. I had a great time. Then again, yesterday I spent the day talking about how I don't like Cobra Kai, and then there was news that it's the top-rated streaming show in the U.S. I don't know if you guys should be taking my advice on anything.
On any show?
Anything.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because Radio U exists, and Radio U only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
I have an age-appropriate crush on that Brad Pitt.